What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I'm going to be freaking out over the latest developments in the Attack on Titan story while attempting to make all my fangirling sound like a coherent video. I'm not normally the type of person who loses it over something interesting happening in a manga chapter, but what just happened in Attack on Titan really changed everything we thought we knew yet again. And this chapter single-handedly shifted our understanding of Eren's entire character. Honestly, this might be my favorite Attack on Titan chapter up to this point, so let's talk about everything that happened right now. By the way, if you enjoy the Attack on Titan content on this channel and you want to see more, please leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. A huge thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons who make videos like this one possible. I'll talk more about Patreon at the end of the video, but now please be warned that this video will contain manga spoilers. We're going to be dealing with the latest developments in the Attack on Titan story, so proceed with caution. You have been warned. The title of Chapter 121 is Memories of the Future, at least according to the official translation that we have, and honestly, it couldn't have been a more appropriate title. The chapter begins with Zeke and Eren still wandering through Grisha's memories. Apparently they have been wandering through his memories for years, although we know that time is out of whack at this point, so it is possible that no time has actually passed out in the real world. Zeke has finally made his peace with the fact that Grisha never tried to brainwash Eren. Grisha was overall a pretty loving father to his second son, and he allowed Eren to make his own decisions in life, which is in stark contrast to how Grisha raised Zeke, his first son. It's clear now that Grisha did learn an important lesson from his first marriage, and he did do his best to make amends for his past mistakes. But after realizing all of this, Zeke is puzzled. Zeke asks Eren why, if Grisha never brainwashed him, did Eren still decide to betray Zeke? Why does Eren keep willingly following down the same path as his father, instead of using Zekes Plan to finally end this senseless fighting and suffering once and for all? Eren tells Zeke that the two of them are different, and Eren has been the way that he is now ever since he was born. If someone tries to take away Eren's freedom, he won't hesitate to take away that person's freedom in turn. Eren would never accept Marleyan propaganda about how the Eldians are evil and how the world can only be in peace if all the Eldians are eliminated. For one thing, we know that this propaganda is completely wrong. We know from our own world, the real world, that even without people who can transform into Titans, there is still constant war and conflict around the globe. The fact that Eldians don't exist in our world doesn't stop the people from pointlessly fighting each other. Furthermore, Eren is right to reject the idea that just because his Eldian ancestors allegedly did something bad in the distant past, he and every other Eldian alive today have to suffer the consequences of their ancestors' actions, even though they themselves did nothing wrong. Eren tells Zeke that he is not the pathetic little brother that Zeke wanted him to be, and he is not a convenient brother who can be used by Zeke. Eren then drops a savage truth bomb on Zeke. Because of his traumatic childhood, Zeke has defined himself as a person through his denial of his father's wish to restore Eldia. Even though Grisha is dead, Zeke is still obsessed with Grisha and what Grisha did to him, and by euthanizing the Eldians, Zeke is trying to deny his father's greatest wish, which was to restore Eldia to its former glory. To put it simply, instead of saving the Eldians like Grisha wanted, Zeke wants to euthanize them all. Zeke might claim that he truly believes that this is the best for everyone, but Eren implies that Zeke is doing all of this just to spite his father, just to get back at his father for prioritizing Eldian restoration over his own son. It's not really a moral or philosophical conviction that is driving Zeke, it is his personal grudge with Grisha. Zeke responds by saying that even if all of this is true, he is grateful to his father because his father's actions showed him the truth. They showed him what danger Eldia poses to the world, and ironically, Grisha will actually save the world by motivating Zeke to eliminate the Eldians from this world. As Zeke continues to talk about this, Eren isn't interested at all. He is more interested in looking at Grisha's memory of the time when Eren first gave his scarf to Mikasa. And since we know how poorly Eren treated Mikasa in the most recent chapters, something which we can now assume was just an act to keep Mikasa and Armin safe from Zeke, just as Armin predicted, the fact that Eren is so focused on this memory with Mikasa, and the fact that his face looks very emotional in this moment, tells me that he still has strong feelings for her. Now, this channel is far too sophisticated for shipping. I would never talk about ships on this channel. I am far too much of an intellectual for the... nah, I'm just kidding. I totally ship Eren and Mikasa, and this moment gives me hope that it can still happen. Red Scarf forever, boys! At this point, Zeke is not amused by how little attention Eren is paying to him, so Zeke tries to flex on Eren. Zeke reminds Eren that he controls the Founder and that he can carry out the euthanasia plan whenever he wants. But because he is such a nice guy, he is not going to just carry out the plan before he shows Eren that he was right about everything all along. Only then will he carry out the plan. I mean, what could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong with Zeke's flawless logic? Let's find out. Eren just kind of goes with it for now as they continue their journey through Grisha's memories. They see that from a very young age, Eren wanted to join the Survey Corps and venture outside of the wall. He refused to stay ignorant about the outside world and a prisoner within the walls. He refused to allow the sacrifices of everyone who gave their lives to learn about the outside world be in vain. It is only after seeing Eren acting this way that Grisha promises to show him the basement and what is really hidden on the inside. Grisha probably decides to do this because he doesn't want Eren to spend his life trying to join the Survey Corps and venture outside for nothing. Grisha already knows what the outside world is like, and he already knows that all the Titans are just Eldians who were turned into Titans against their will. I think that Grisha was going to tell Eren about the basement not because he wanted to brainwash him or indoctrinate him, but because he wanted Eren to know the truth so that he doesn't die for nothing fighting Titans who are not actually evil and exploring a world that has already been explored. Sadly, as we all know, Grisha never got the chance to show the basement to Eren. The memories then jump to Grisha confronting the Reese family in the secret complex beneath the church, the same secret complex that he had discovered years ago. After Wall Maria was breached and the Titans flooded inside the walls, Grisha became desperate for help from the founding Titan. He tells Frida and the others that he is an Eldian who came from beyond the walls, and he begs Frida and King Karl Fritz within her to stop the Titans from attacking the innocent people within the walls, including Grisha's family. But Frida simply replies that the Eldians cannot escape their sins, and the time has come for all the subjects of Ymir to face judgment. The King of the Walls, King Karl Fritz, seems to be speaking from inside Frida. It's not just Frida speaking here, Karl Fritz is speaking through the founding Titan. He says that the Titan power is too much for man to handle, and the tragedy of the Titan War is what convinced him of this fact. The king says that someone must keep the power of the Titans out of the hands of humans, and that is why the founding Titan power must never fall into the hands of the weak again, because the end result would be another hell on Earth. For that reason, King Fritz believes that it is better for all the Eldians to just accept their sins and perish rather than to risk another hellish Titan war. Zeke mentions at this point that he relates to what Frida is saying, and he reminds Eren that Grisha is about to go on and slaughter all of these people just so he can get what he wants, the founding Titan power. Zeke reminds Eren that he had told him before that it was this memory, the memory of Grisha killing the Reese family, including the children, that made Eren lose all hope in Grisha. But if you look at Eren's face in this moment, you will see how he truly feels. Eren is furious when he hears Frida's logic. He is furious at the idea that King Karl Fritz would so casually allow all those innocent people to suffer, and without ever knowing why they are suffering in the first place. Grisha continues to beg and plead with Frida. He talks about how he has a wife, son, and daughter, the daughter being the adopted daughter Mikasa, and Grisha talks about how he lives close to where the walls were breached. But Frida and King Karl Fritz within her refuses to budge. The king says that the Eldians can never atone for the human lives that they took, but the one thing that they can do is prevent the taking of any more lives beyond the walls. And for that reason, as long as the Eldians remain ignorant and accept the world's rage, they are the only ones who will have to die and no one else. Grisha appears frantic and desperate, but Eren is seething. Eren is so angry that both Zeke and Grisha notice him at this point. And Grisha shouldn't even be noticing him in the first place because these are just his memories. The two of them are in two completely different times. Frida says that there is no point in trying to convince them, and even if Grisha tries to take the founding Titan power from her, he will be unable to use it, so it is pointless. Grisha says that he knows that he can't use the founding Titan power, but he possesses the attack Titan power, which has its own unique ability. The inheritors of the attack Titan have a tradition of not obeying orders and resisting the self-righteousness of the king, And that is because the Attack Titan is capable of seeing the memories of its future inheritors. The Attack Titan can see the future through the future memories of the inheritors that are yet to come. This definitively confirms that Titans are able to see the future, and in particular, the Attack Titan's unique ability is to see the memories of its future possessors. I actually made a video speculating that this was the case over 2 years ago, so it is really cool to have this finally confirmed, although many of us were suspecting that something like this was the case for a while now. Both Zeke and Frida were clearly unaware of the fact that the Attack Titan could see the future. Despite having the Founding Titan power, Frida was unaware because the vow of pacifism is keeping her from accessing the full extent of the Founding Titan's power. Grisha prepares to eat the Founding Titan and put an end to the royal bloodline because that is the future that is already set out for them. That is the future that he presumably already saw in Eren's memories, but as he prepares to turn into a Titan, Grisha can't bring himself to do it. He says that he can't bring himself to kill the innocent Reese children. He is a doctor, his job is to save lives, not to take them. Zeke is confused because he knows that Grisha is supposed to massacre the family and take the Founding Titan, unless the past had somehow changed, but how is that even possible? And that is when the whole game switches up yet again, and Eren solidifies his place as one of the greatest and most intriguing characters in all of anime and manga, in my opinion. Even though Grisha seems to have given up the fight, Frida doesn't kill him, even as the other members of the Reese family tell her to kill him so he doesn't destroy their heaven. While these kids are so naive it's freaking sad, Frida starts to walk away. Say what you will about King Fritz, but he does take his vow of pacifism seriously. We saw it with Yuri and Kenny, and we see it now with Frida and Grisha. King Fritz really does want to avoid killing whenever possible. Although, to be fair, the secret police that runs the island on behalf of the Fritz family is doing a lot of killing on a daily basis, or at least they were at the beginning of the story before they were overthrown. But this story is not over yet. Eren, the Eren from the future who is supposed to be just observing these memories of the past, begins speaking to Grisha directly. He tells Grisha to stand. He reminds Grisha why he came here in the first place. Eren reminds Grisha about everything he had to go through because of the pacifism of Karl Fritz. The death of his little sister, the death of his fellow restorationists, Dina, Eren Kruger, and everyone else who had to suffer and continues to suffer just because the royal family refuses to help its own people. Eren reminds Grisha that he started this story, and he must go through what he came here to do. After being convinced by Eren from the future, Grisha decides to go through with his Titan transformation, and he kills Frida, takes the Founding Titan power, and kills everyone else except for Rod Reese, just as it was always supposed to happen. So it was Eren all along. Grisha wasn't going to go through with his plan to steal the Founding Titan and destroy the Reese family until future Eren directly intervened into the events of the past and convinced Grisha to do it. After the deed is done, a crying Grisha asks Eren, is this what he wanted? Is he happy now? Grisha clearly didn't want to do what he had just done, but he is convinced that this was the only way to save Eldia, including his family. And Eren was the one who convinced him that this is the case. He did all of this for Eren. This wasn't just Grisha's plan, we now know that it was just as much Eren's plan. Zeke looks mortified as Grisha anguishes on his knees. Grisha notices Zeke and tells him that from here on, it won't go as he wishes. It will all be going Eren's way. And how does Grisha know this? How does Grisha know what will happen from now on, even though those events haven't even happened yet in the present? It can only be because Grisha saw Eren's memories from even further in the future, beyond the point in the story that we've seen so far. Zeke, one of the most intelligent people in Attack on Titan, and that's not just my opinion, it's actually according to his official statistics, is absolutely bewildered by what just happened. Despite his grand plan for euthanizing the Eldians, the true mastermind behind the main events of Attack on Titan was not Zeke. It was not Grisha. It was not Karl Fritz. It was none other than Eren Jeager. Grisha confirms to Zeke that he has seen Eren's memories of what will happen next, but he can't believe that it will become that ghastly. This means that we still have no idea what awaits us in the next few chapters. Eren has been unleashed, and he isn't taking any prisoners. Grisha embraces Zeke and apologizes to him for being a terrible father, and then he tells Zeke that he has to stop Eren. Grisha keeps implying that Eren is about to do something truly insane, something so terrible that even Grisha, who has been to hell and back, cannot comprehend it. Thanks to this exchange, my curiosity about what is going to happen next is piqued. What is Eren about to do? Is he going to unleash the rumbling? Is he going to level Marley, the entire world? I've said many times in the past that I can't wait for the next chapter to come out, but that has been taken to a whole new level after this chapter in particular. Suddenly, Zeke and Eren find themselves outside of Grisha's memories and back in the unknown land that is the physical manifestation of the coordinate. Eren actually thanks Zeke for bringing him into Grisha's memories, because if he hadn't done that, Eren would never have been able to do what he just did. Eren also says that 4 years ago, when he touched Historia's hand, he saw memories of himself in the future within Grisha's memories. This means that for 4 years, Eren has been planning for this moment, guided by a vision of the future that no one else had access to. For at least 4 years, Eren has been the mastermind behind everything that's been happening and everything that is going to happen, and Zeke's entire plan was nothing but a red herring. The real plan was always Eren's plan. Zeke says that Grisha told him to stop Eren. Grisha seemingly regretted doing what Eren told him to do because of how horrible Eren's plan ultimately was. So in order to stop him, Zeke wastes no more time. He tells Ymir Fritz, the little girl inside the unknown land, to steal the ability of all Eldians to reproduce. Ymir Fritz hears the command and begins to move. Zeke tells Eren that there is nothing that he can do now because he already commanded Ymir and she always does what someone with royal blood tells her to do. Eren tries to stop Ymir, but he is still chained up. However, at this point Eren goes berserk. His human face begins to resemble his Attack Titan face, and he breaks through the chains, ripping off some of his own fingers in the process. The chapter ends as Eren tries to grab Ymir and stop her from carrying out Zeke's euthanasia command, while Zeke insists that trying to stop her is pointless. We have no idea how Eren is going to stop Ymir Fritz from carrying out Zeke's order, but we know that he must somehow succeed because Grisha told us that from now on everything is going to go Eren's way. Zeke will lose. On top of being left with this massive cliffhanger about what's going to happen next, we are also left with a completely different opinion of Eren as a character. Eren was the one who pushed Grisha to carry out his plan and steal the Founding Titan, killing the Reese family in the process. But why did Eren do this? Why would he want the entire Reese family, including the children, to die? I think the answer is this. Eren didn't necessarily want the children to die, but as we saw from his face when Frida was talking, Eren could no longer stand King Fritz's vow of pacifism. King Fritz just stood by and watched as thousands of his own people were slaughtered in Marley and on the island, and he did nothing to protect them. King Fritz took the memories of the Eldians on the island so that they would never even know why they were suffering and dying in the first place. King Fritz created one of the most unjust and unfair kingdoms possible, and he did it all just because he personally felt guilty about what the Eldians did in the past, about the Great Titan War from 100 years ago, and so on. Eren's entire life was defined by the suffering of the Eldians on the island at the hands of the Titans, and by extension at the hands of Marley. His mother was killed right before his eyes, he lost many friends and comrades, he was betrayed and lied to, and he has had enough. King Fritz might feel guilty for his own role in the wars of the past, but this generation of Eldians was not responsible for what happened centuries ago. The Eldians on the island don't even know what actually happened before the walls were built, so they are in no way complicit with the injustices of the past. Eren was infuriated by the king's ideology, which called for innocent Eldians of this generation to suffer and die for the sins of their ancestors they didn't even know anything about. Eren decided that he would do whatever it takes. He would be as Machiavellian and ruthless as he had to be for the greater good of this generation of Eldians. If he had to kill a handful of members of the royal family, people who have been running a tyrannical police state and controlling everyone's memories, in order to save tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Eldian lives, then he would do it. What would be the greater crime? Sparing the royal family and watching tens of thousands of other innocent people die? Or sacrificing the royal family for the greater good of every Eldian? It's not an easy choice. It is not an ideal choice by any means. No one deserves to die, and especially not the Reese children who in all likelihood have just been brainwashed and are just doing what they were told to do. But Eren made the choice to sacrifice these people now in order to save the rest of the people on the island, or at least as many of them as possible. You can definitely understand Eren's motivation here, even if it's hard to know whether we ourselves would ever be capable of making such a difficult decision. And of course, we all hope that we are never put in a situation where we have to make any decision along these lines. The big question is, what happens now? What else does Eren have planned? And is he about to completely lose it? Is he going to level the whole earth with the rumbling? Is he going to destroy all of Marley? Or is he going to do something different altogether? Like create a 2,000-year time loop? Something that I talked about in my previous Attack on Titan theory video about Eren and the Earth Devil. I'll link that video in the description if you want to check it out. Whatever happens next, this chapter really changed the game yet again. It confirmed the future memories theory. It showed us that Eren directly interfered in the past to make his father steal the Founding Titan power, and it told us that Eren has access to even more future memories. Memories of events that haven't even happened yet. This means that Eren has knowledge of the future that no one else possesses, and he's about to use it to his advantage in a way that makes even Grisha shake in fear. Truly a masterpiece of a chapter. I have nothing else to say except it was amazing and game-changing, and I'm counting the days and hours and minutes until the next chapter drops. Please let me know what you guys thought of chapter 121. How has your opinion of Eren's character changed, and what do you think that Eren is going to do next? Scroll down to the comments and let me know right now. I always love hearing from you. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Attack on Titan content on this channel, please leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you don't hit the bell and turn on all notifications, you will definitely miss our future videos. That's just how YouTube works. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar for all the latest Attack on Titan news and updates. I want to give a big thank you to all of our AnimeUproar patrons for supporting our work and making our videos possible. A special thank you to all of our Pro Hero tier patrons, including the one and only Gilgamesh, Nothing But a Fan, Jason Wilson, King Zeldris, and Angel Cruz. An epic thank you to all of our The One tier patrons, the ones who stand above all other clans, including Baby Ray, Ace, Ingrata, Alolanatom, Maddie Mac, Mako-Takun, and Keelan. And finally, at the pinnacle of interdimensional greatness, a tier reserved only for legends. A massive thank you to Reagan Harrison and Lord Nuxanor, disciples of Lord Twigo himself. If you enjoy our videos and you think they provide value for you, consider supporting us on Patreon, link in the description. Even a single dollar will give you access to our exclusive patron-only Discord, and your name will appear in our videos along with these amazing people. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.